Hi everybody, welcome to a show I like to call Sal Says What. It's just named after my Twitter handle. And yes, I'm doing one of these. So, I figure we'd try it out, see how it works, and if you don't like it, go figure we'd start off the show with me having a cold, because I figured why not introduce myself to an audience and then have a totally different voice in like a week. That seemed like a pretty good idea. The one thing I really like about seasons is that people like to remind you what season it is and what season they want it to be. So it's like, oh, it is wintertime right now, and I just want to tell you in case you didn't notice, in case you don't have skin. But the one thing that I really like, the sunny part, if you will, of spring that I really dug was webcomicer and cartoonist Peter Donahue from PearPair.com produced this great piece that I feel like encapsulates all the feelings I want to have in this season. So check it out. Next up, I want to talk about Michael Giuliano, this dude who is kickstarting his own space simulator game. The reason why it's so much better than anything else out there, number one is nobody's making any right now, and number two is it's more intuitive, it's more real, it's more visceral. It appeals to, I think, anybody who the space simulator appeals to. It gives you a much more immersive experience. Check out some of the gameplay footage that he has produced that you can find on his Kickstarter page.
Shields are up and are charging right now. See if I can take at least one of these guys out. There we go. The next segment, you're going to see that it's quite different without shields. It's like my secondary power unit has some damage. I'm taking some damage to the forward canopy monitor. I'm really getting hammered here. I have some thruster damage. It looks like one of my translation thrusters are damaged. And I'm not sure if my secondary power unit temperature is rising. If it does that too much, I'll lose the unit, so I'm going to shut that down. Enunciator. That one thruster is not too bad yet. Let me get back in the fight here.
You know, this is a child of the space simulator games like X-Wing or TIE Fighter or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter kind of left me cold because the LAN link was just a nightmare. It was just so difficult to connect your laptops together. Forget it, you know. 90s. But anyway, it's a really engaging space shooter sim. I don't think the Kickstarter's going to make it, but the dude definitely is not going to let the dream die. Guy taught himself C++ in 2 years to make this thing a reality. I gotta give it to him, and you have to as well. Give him some money. Throw some money his way. This dude has a dream, and I really want to see it come to life. Next up in comic book news, there's this book that came out with Marvel Now when they did a rotating shift of creative teams. All new X-Men, which I buy and hate. It's a really, it's a new familiar feeling to me, because I used to buy comics back in the 90s, as kind of a completist. I needed to have the whole set. So when I was reading Spawn back in the day, this is something that I really should not be sharing, is that I've read Spawn. But back when I read Spawn, I had to have them all. You know, I picked it up probably around issue 4, so then I had to go back, find issue 1, buy it for like $30, and then fill in the blanks all the way up to, I got up to issue 64. I feel like I'm kind of being a completist again, and I don't want to be, because I really don't like all new X-Men. I don't care about the X-Men, but I do like the writer. Brian Michael Bendis is a guy who not only is a really fun writer, he also kind of really gets the Marvel Universe in a way that is more refreshing to see. You know, you really kind of like seeing your characters talk like normal people, or at the very least, a little bit more Joss Whedon-y, quippy superhero people. I have every faith and confidence in Brian Michael Bendis as a writer, and the art teams are also really fantastic. But I can't get over the fact that the X-Men franchise and any X-Men book is just one burnt light bulb away from a closet full of chest-crushing continuity from falling out on top of you. It really is. He's doing a really good job of compartmentalizing and kind of just highlighting the best stuff from the X-Men mythos, but you know it's coming. You know there's going to be an extinction agenda. You know there's going to be a legacy virus. You know that Apocalypse is going to show up. It's just going to be a total clusterfuck. That's what the X-Men is. The X-Men is a comic book clusterfuck. It has gone on too long. Everyone has had sex with each other, and they have had space children. It is just a calamitous nightmare waiting to happen. So the final story I wanted to end on was the story of BRYANT McGILL, a dude who just dropped a metric shit ton of weight. Guy was fat, said fuck that, and did it. You know, fucking knocked off the weight. And I gotta say, it's such an inspirational story for just seeing somebody say to themselves, no more, and then just totally change the way that they look at and interact with the world. Guy is a motivational speaker and an author. Check him out, Bryant McGIll. This guy, Bryant, was from the South, he's from Arkansas, and I can tell you that I live by experience. I know that the South can add 100 pounds to a person's diet simply by being there. The South revolutionized delicious, unhealthy foods, and it opened in me a love for things that are fried. So that is my cross to bear, so to speak, when it comes to my relationship with the South. But I gotta give it to him, man. Came from Arkansas, was fat, not anymore, and it's through a system of self-determination and effort, and I gotta give it to him, man. It's fucking awesome. Bryant McGill really went out of his way to change his situation, and so few of us do that in a real positive way that I feel like it's worth repeating, it's worth mentioning. So check out his story, read it down below, and share your thoughts about making yourself better. How do you do it? If you do it at all. If you don't, why? Shoot us a tweet, email, or you could just drop on the website, littlehouseentertainment.com, and we will talk to you there. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. This is littlehouseentertainment.com. Sal Says What? First episode, and I think it went pretty okay. But if you are worried in any way of X-Men continuity spilling over and attacking you and ruining your attention span, I think you know what to do, which is not buy it. I think I'm going to have to go back and do that again.